Cardi B melts in tears after what Stefon Diggs said. The room went completely silent, so silent that even the soft hum of the air conditioner felt too loud. Cardi B stood there, phone pressed against her ear, pacing slowly across the floor. She had started the call laughing, playful, full of that familiar spark fans know so well. But as the seconds passed, her smile faded. Her steps slowed. Her shoulders dropped. Something had shifted. Stefon Diggs wasn't yelling. He wasn't angry. His voice was calm, almost too calm. And somehow, that made it worse. At first, Cardi tried to brush it off, cracking a joke the way she always does when emotions creep too close. But Diggs didn't laugh. He paused. Then he said it. Not harshly. Not cruelly. But honestly. And that honesty hit Cardi like a tidal wave. He told her how heavy everything had become. How the pressure, the expectations, the constant spotlight were suffocating. How loving her meant loving the chaos too, and how sometimes, he felt like he was drowning inside it. He admitted that there were nights he stared at the ceiling, wondering if love alone was strong enough to survive everything pulling them apart. Cardi stopped walking. Her free hand flew to her chest as if the words had physically knocked the air out of her lungs. Her eyes filled instantly, tears spilling before she could even blink them away. Her lips trembled, but no sound came out at first, just raw emotion, pouring out silently. This wasn't gossip. This wasn't drama. This was truth. She tried to respond, but her voice cracked after just one word. She sank onto the edge of the couch, curling forward as tears streamed down her face. For once, the woman known for being loud, fearless, and unapologetic had nothing to say. Diggs continued, softer now. He said he loved her, deeply. That wasn't the question. The question was whether they could protect each other's hearts in a world that constantly tried to tear them apart. He said he didn't want to lose himself. And he didn't want to lose her either. That was it. Cardi broke. She covered her face with both hands and sobbed, real, uncontrollable sobs that shook her entire body. This wasn't the dramatic cry fans see on screen. This was private pain leaking through every crack. The kind of crying that comes from fear of losing someone who matters more than pride, more than fame, more than everything. Between tears, she whispered his name. She told him she never meant to make him feel alone. That beneath the glam, the noise, the headlines, she was just a woman trying to love and be loved without losing herself too. She reminded him how far they'd come, how many storms they'd already survived. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Just breathing. Just emotion hanging heavy in the air. And then Diggs said something else, something that made her cry even harder. He said he wasn't giving up. He said he just needed her to hear him. He said love shouldn't hurt this much, and he believed they could fix it together. Cardi collapsed fully onto the couch, tears soaking into the fabric as relief and heartbreak collided inside her. She nodded even though he couldn't see her. She promised to slow down. To listen more. To protect what they had instead of letting the world consume it. By the time the call ended, her eyes were swollen, her makeup ruined, her voice barely above a whisper. But her heart, exposed, fragile, and aching, was still fighting. And somewhere between the tears and the truth, one thing was painfully clear. This wasn't the end. It was the moment everything real finally came to the surface, and nothing hurts more, or matters more, than that. Cardi B melts in tears after what Stefon Diggs said. The room fell into a heavy silence the moment the words left his mouth. No cameras were rolling inside that quiet space. No flashing lights. No screaming fans. Just two people sitting across from each other, hearts exposed, breaths shallow, one sentence away from changing everything. Cardi B had walked in confident, her usual fire barely contained behind a calm smile. She had survived public storms, online backlash, broken hearts broadcast to the world. She thought she had heard it all. She thought nothing could truly shake her anymore. She was wrong. Across from her sat Stefon Diggs, unusually quiet. No jokes. No charm. No playful smirk. His hands were clasped together, knuckles tight, eyes fixed on the floor as if he was rehearsing the hardest confession of his life. "Before you say anything," Cardi said softly, trying to keep the moment light, "why you look like you about to drop the saddest album of the year?" He didn't laugh. That's when her heart sank. He finally looked up, eyes glossy, not broken, but heavy. The kind of look someone wears when they've already made peace with pain, and now have to pass it on. "Cardi," he began slowly, his voice trembling, "I need you to hear me without interrupting." Her smile faded instantly. "I've been carrying something for a long time," he continued. "Something I didn't know how to say, because I was scared of losing you." The air felt thicker. Cardi leaned forward, her hands gripping the edge of the table. "Just say it," she whispered. He swallowed hard. "I love you, more than I've ever loved anyone. And that's exactly why this hurts so much." Her chest tightened. "I tried to be strong. I tried to pretend I could balance everything, the expectations, the distance, the pressure, the world watching every move we make." His voice cracked. "But the truth is, I've been breaking." Cardi's eyes filled instantly. "What you saying right now?" she asked, her voice barely audible. He exhaled deeply, as if releasing a lifetime of weight. "I don't want to lose you," he said. "But I also don't want to keep hurting you by pretending I'm okay when I'm not." That's when it hit her. Not anger. Not betrayal. But grief. The tears came fast. At first, she tried to fight them, blinking rapidly, turning her head away, laughing weakly like she always did when emotions threatened to take over. But this time, her body betrayed her. Her lips began to tremble. "No, no, no," she muttered, shaking her head. "You can't talk like that." Her shoulders collapsed inward as the realization washed over her. This wasn't drama. This wasn't gossip. This was a man she cared about standing in front of her, vulnerable in a way the world had never seen. "You don't get to love me like that and then say you breaking," she cried, tears streaming freely now. "You don't get to make me feel safe and then tell me you hurting alone." Her voice cracked into sobs. Stefon reached for her hands, but she pulled back, standing up, pacing, wiping her face furiously as if she could erase the pain. "I've been through so much," she said between sobs. "I finally let my guard down. I finally believed peace was possible." Her knees buckled, and she sank back into the chair, completely unraveling. This wasn't a pretty cry. This was raw. Ugly. Unfiltered. Her mascara ran. Her breathing became uneven. She covered her face with both hands as loud sobs escaped her chest. "I didn't need perfection," she cried. "I just needed honesty." Stefon's eyes overflowed as well. "That's what I'm giving you now," he said softly. "Even if it costs me everything." That sentence shattered her. She lifted her head, eyes red, swollen, searching his face. "So what you saying?" she asked. "That loving me is too heavy?" He shook his head quickly. "No. Loving you is the best thing that ever happened to me," he said. "But loving you right, means I can't keep pretending." The silence that followed was devastating. Cardi leaned forward, resting her forehead against the table, her shoulders shaking uncontrollably. The room echoed with the sound of her crying, deep, wounded, exhausted tears. For the first time in a long time, Cardi B wasn't a superstar. She was just a woman, grieving the possibility that love alone might not be enough. When she finally looked up, her voice was hoarse. "I wish you told me sooner," she whispered. "I was scared," he admitted. "But I'm more scared of lying to you." She nodded slowly, tears still falling. "I don't know what happens next," she said. "But I know this This hurts more than I expected. Stefon stood up and gently wrapped his arms around her. This time, she didn't resist. She collapsed into his chest, sobbing openly, clutching his shirt like it was the only thing keeping her upright. And in that moment, no headlines, no internet noise, no fans screaming, only two hearts breaking quietly together. Sometimes love doesn't end in explosions. Sometimes, it ends in tears that melt you from the inside out.
아래엔 간혹 도시가 보이곤 해. 그 도시에는 또 다른 내가 하늘에 떠가는 비행기를 올려다보고 있겠지. 난 하늘을 보고 또 다른 나는 아래를 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주행 비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 내게로 와 있네. 다른 나는 아래를 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주행 비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 내게로 와 있네. 있어. 아래엔 간혹 도시가 보이곤 해. 그 도시에는 또 다른 내가 하늘에 떠가는 비행기를 올려다보고 있겠지. 난 하늘을 보고 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주행 비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼